India Charts publishes Nifty daily video updates, the weekly Elliott Wave outlook, and the long shot report covering all asset classes.
In today's video, I'm going to discuss what I think about the dollar, which has become one of the most interesting discussions that everybody's having on Twitter. And a lot of investors have now gotten hang of the idea that a large part of this year's move, which was unexplained to many, has come on the back of a falling dollar. Now, the falling dollar is nothing but a reflection of the liquidity that is moving from the dollar-based assets towards non-dollar-based assets. It could include everything from emerging markets to commodities and to emerging market bonds and even precious metals. Now, what we really want to understand and what's the ongoing debate is, has this decline completed and have we changed trend? And at 2 degrees of time, is this a long-term reversal to the upside? Is that what is really going on? Is this really a double bottom that we are forming at this point, or are we not? One of the reasons this debate also comes in is that since the point of September down here, positioning as far as the dollar to euro is concerned has been among the most extreme in probably decades or where data is available, which means that people have been long the euro and short the dollar to a record extreme. And despite that, we got this one more leg down, but now we are appearing to sort of bounce back, and it's really important to understand the structure of the bounce to determine what might really happen going forward. This concern also is very similar to what happened in gold, where we got a pretty steep retracement of the entire rally that has occurred over the last couple of years, almost a 38% retracement of that, and it happened slowly from August of this year. And it was also aligned with huge positioning, which was extremely long on the gold side based on the CFT data, that is the COT report. And that was also true last year before prices crashed. So they hit 1600, went down, and even when they went down to 1300 odd, positioning was extremely long, and then prices recovered to 2000. So should we really look at positioning as important? Now, it's worked most of the time in the past, but in the last 8 months, extreme positioning has not really caused a reversal in many markets, and therefore you really had to wait for a reversal itself than looking at the data and saying this is it. People who did that really had to fall on their face because of it. So but have we reached that point? Because in gold, we did eventually reach that point, and have we reached it in the dollar? So the argument stems with the fact that we start thinking that this entire fall is a 5-wave advance. Now, there are ways you can actually complete it, and I'll show you what I've been thinking in terms of the structure, that this initial 5-wave move down to the low in September is a larger degree 5-wave decline that I can then mark as wave 1 and wave 2. Then most likely in my understanding is that we started a third wave down, which is attempting to subdivide into waves 1 and 2 and start another third, which didn't happen. I thought it would have peaked here and then started on its way down, but we still continue to form. Now, this is my primary view. The counter argument you can make, the only way I can really complete 5 waves is if I consider this is 1 of 5 instead of marking this as 1 and 2 circle, and then complete 3, 4, and take this truncated last segment as the 5th wave, which means that it's an ending pattern. My only problem with this is the 5th appears very, very small, and internally I was not so confident that this was a proper ending, though it does have a wedging look. And in fact, on the hourly, I would have thought it's probably a leading diagonal because it looks pretty impulsive. But we've gone beyond this high, so it definitely can't be a leading pattern. So is this ending diagonal a truncated 5th wave? That's the only way we can really say that a 5-wave decline is actually complete, and we are going to do something larger in terms of a second wave, and that could cause a lot of nervousness and panic that is not just short term, but more medium to longer term. Now, this is the risk. Okay, so people tried saying this was true here. I thought not. for multiple reasons. One of them being that this entire bounce looked to me very much counter trend, which means you developed a triangle in between, which is marked as A and B, and triangles often occur in wave B, and then we ended up with wave C. And once we did that, wave 2 should have completed, and so the moment I saw it as a 3-wave bounce, I thought probably we are turning down. What has happened though in terms of structure, what we can actually end up marking this as is a larger A, B and C. And the reason is that this fall also does not appear like it's 5 waves, so it can also be considered as an ABC decline. And then eventually what you have is a small 5-wave bounce back here till this spike high, which happened for some reason intraday on the 4th of November, which is the 5th of C. And so this ABC move completes the second wave. And then from there we've declined again. So because that was a short wave and a pretty time consuming pullback, which also breaks out of maybe the falling trend line for this entire move, I like to think that wave 1 most probably completed at that point of time inside this falling channel. Now where we are is then in side of a third wave, which is declining. We have the first and second wave structure, and what we are looking for is then a third wave down to start. Now what has ended up happening here is very similar to what we saw in September, which means that this move here itself is an ABC, where wave B is triangular in nature, and then you have a C up. So that made me again similarly confident that, well, we've got 3 waves, it looks very similar, and you may start down again. Now by being similar, it's also in not had alternation. So if I say this is 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 4 2 and 4 should have had an alternation, which means one is a zigzag and the other one is a triangle or a flat or an expanded flat. Both of them have the same ABC kind structure. So most probably they are not 2 and 4, they are probably 2 and 2. And in that sense, now what we are seeing is we've gone past this high of 91.6, which I thought would hold. And that means that this cannot be the end of 2, and so it's probably just A of 2 and B. And so again, now the similarity to what happened back here in September to end of October has increased even more. So which means we are probably doing wave C, and wave C of 2 will complete after 5 waves. Now here this 5-wave move was very small, didn't go above the high of A. But in this case, we've gone beyond the high of A and we actually subdividing into minor wave 1, minor wave 2. We have started 3 up, still going on today. Then we'll do a 4 and a 5, and then that will complete the structure. And one way to then map that is maybe inside a flag, which is sometimes a rising channel. And so we simply draw this rising channel and expect prices to top out. If not at the top end of the channel, it can even overshoot sometimes. So you can actually get wave C overshooting. And if I mark it as wave 2, which is what I'm doing from this high, then we take a retracement and you end up with 61.8% coming in at 92.62. So that will be my best case scenario. Near the channel line would be around 92, which will be the 50% retracement as well. And so these two retracement levels are what I'm going to be watching on the dollar. And without changing my big picture view, that is we are inside a long-term decline phase, which is not over. And after whatever happens here in terms of a bounce, because if it goes up to 91, 92, 60, it will almost have reached the 40-week average or the 200-day moving average. And from there, most probably 3 of 3 down will start, and that will see the bearish trend longer term continue. So even this trend line has failed. So we'll have to redraw a new channel only after the bounce back is complete. We'll be able to map, what is the angle of the larger degree longer term move down. But I'm not ruling out that the decline is over. And the reason for that is my top for the dollar index is actually in 2017, right in January there, where you hit 103.8. And that high in the spot for 103.8, which ended 5 of C of the previous bull run, was followed by a 5-wave decline into 2018. And this is a long-term A wave, which means that the entire bounce into 2020 was a B wave. Because in the spot market, we didn't really go above 2017 high. And therefore, my sense is that this decline is wave C, which has to complete 5 waves. But not only that, wave C in a zigzag where wave A is already 5 waves has to go below the low of A, which has not yet happened. So even before calling a bottom, if this is the larger degree count that I'm living with, then unless we really fall below 88.15, there's no chance of saying that wave C is really complete. So that's the other issue with doing so. And if that does happen, that means my view even here would be wrong and we would need to change. But so far I'm sticking with this and has appeared to work for me, which means that the entire bounce back from 2018 to 2020 was this expanding like pattern, which was a wave B corrective bounce back, and triangular in nature when you look at the broad structures, typically what you see in wave Bs. So wave C is supposed to be an impulsive 5-wave decline. We've only completed wave 2 so far based on my understanding, and the third itself is now developing into 1, 2 and 3 is pending. 3 of 3 comes next, and eventually that will complete a third, then there's a fourth, there's a fifth, and that's going to take several years before we are really done with the dollar bear market, is what my sense is based on this structure. So I'm not going to be looking for significant bounces. Yes, you'll get these what you got here, ABC, either bouncing back to the 20-week average or bouncing back to the 40-week average or something like that, but continuing to make lower lows and lower highs in the medium term. So each bounce back, depending on what degree of bounce it is, will only be retracing one or the other of the previous move. In this case, if I took only this last leg, we got a 50% retracement, and if I take the entire 5-wave decline, we got only a 23% retracement. Now, when you get only a 23% retracement, it usually means that the trend is very strong, because in a second wave, typically we expect deep retracements, but when the trend is very strong, you don't get deep retracements, and the failure to get it itself means that the trend on the way down should be strong. So what happens to these large short positions in the dollar? That's going to be the big question. Can it cause a big short squeeze rally, and how big does it really need to be before another decline can really start? And at some point of time, as we've seen in some bull and bear markets, is that large positions unwind along the way. It's not necessary they cause a counter trend, but as the trend goes on, people get exhausted, rather book out of their positions, and that position disappears. And that might happen somewhere between the fourth and fifth wave. And at the late stages of the move, complacency has everybody, sort of sometimes even not having positions. I've seen this in both the commodity and currency space. Late stages of a move, you actually end up with a position divergence, which means the highest position was not at the end of the move, but ended earlier. And at the peak point, you might get extreme sentiment, but not extreme positioning. So we'll see how that goes. But positioning alone is not going to be the criteria on which I'll end this decline. So far, this is what I'm sticking with, that it's impulsive decline since 2020, and we are only in wave 2 of 3, which should end after a counter trend bounce, and eventually we should be heading down in 3 of 3, which itself would take us down to the next level, which even if I take a minimum, say the third wave is equal to the second wave, just from this channel line, then we will end up projecting down somewhere closer to around 88 or 86.35 is what this is showing here, and that's what will be a minimum unless the third is extended. So that's the outlook, but you need to wait for C of 2 to complete. So it doesn't mean tomorrow morning. In the short term, this bounce back in the dollar that's happening because we are in C of 2 will continue to put some pressure in the month of March on the market. In fact, I wonder if it's a seasonal pattern, because even last year in March we saw this spike in the dollar, and then eventually this turn down started, and that's also a time when gold and silver prices fell a lot. So we are also seeing that right now, and maybe that's the seasonal pattern, which is that you peak out in the month of March, maybe by the mid or end of this month, and roll over. And once you start getting signs that 3 of 3 down has started, probably the interest in the precious metals and emerging markets will come back, and this volatility that you're seeing short term, which is being a pain point, might eventually go away when the dollar starts declining again. So that's it on this update on the DXY, which is now the most heated discussion. And my outlook remains clear that no, we are not really ending a 5-wave decline, and the setup is more of a counter trend bounce that is sort of retracing maybe 61% of wave 1 of 3, and or 50%, we'll see. and eventually result in 3 of 3 down. Thank you.